with me as usual.
What up?
And the album we are going to talk about today, I want to give a shout out to my boy Eric Johnson. He requested me to do this album. Is Living Color with Vivid, released in 1988 on Epic Records. Singles albums known for was Call to Personality, Middleman, Glamour Boys, Open Letter to a Landlord, and Funny Bob. And this was produced by Anastasium, who worked with like a lot of people like the Ramones, Talking Heads, very dope producer, and Mick Jagger, Mick Jagger of the Rolling Stones and shit like that. Yeah. Alright, so before I start this, I want to ask how you got into Living Color.
Just looking at their videos back on MTV, during the '90s, and back then I used to watch everything on MTV, whether it was MTV Raps or Unplugged or 120 Minutes, and just seeing all these rock bands, Nirvana and Stone Temple Pilots, and then Living Color, and just seeing their videos, and then many years later, like the wrestler CM Punk. He actually used the Cult of Personality as his entrance music when he came to the WWE. So that was like I already knew that song because I remember seeing the video and hearing that song so many times back in the day. So that was really like I always knew of them, and I remember seeing a performance with them on I think it was Arsenio back in the day. They had Vernon Reed, the guitarist on the group. He was on there. I forgot what it was. I was like for like a tribute performance or something that he was there for. And you know, I've always like knew of them. You know what I'm saying? But I never really like checked their music out until like now. So I'm glad that I did. But yeah, that was like really like how I like knew of them.
Got you. Alright, that's dope. That's a dope story. To me, I got into Living Color. This is when I was watching VH1 Classic. Yeah, I missed that fucking channel. I used to have all the good shit. They used to have this one little block where he used to play like 80s videos, and so that's when I got into Living Color and shit like that. Cause at first I thought it was like Earth, Wind and Fire or some shit like that, but next thing you know,
Right.
I just heard of the song, of course, Call to Personality, which is of course like a favorite, like their signature song. I don't care what no one says, and shit like that. So yeah, that's pretty much how I got into Living Color. Alright.
So dope.
Alright, so for those of you who don't know who Living Color are, they are a rock group which consists of members Corey Glover, Vernon Reed, Mud Skillings, and Wiz Calhoun. They're a rock group that formed in New York City and shit like that. Pretty much Vernon Reed he had like a number of bands that he was working with and shit like that until he started with Living Color. And so they had some early members of the group and shit like that, and so like they're experimenting like with jazz and funk, but the lineup, the traditional lineup didn't really get settled until 1986 and shit like that. And so right into then they hired their managers and they started touring, and that's when they started doing like early version of their songs that would be on this album, like Call to Personality and shit like that. And so, fast forward to like 88, that's when they started working on the Vivid album and shit like that. So, yeah, man. Very, 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 very hard. This is like heavy metal at its finest and shit like that. Cause 1988 was like, heavy metal definitely at its peak and shit like that. Cause the same year, I want to say Appetite for Guns N' Roses Appetite for Destruction came out the same year. Um, yeah, like a lot of dope metal albums came out and shit like that. So yeah, man. The cover is pretty dope. I love the cover of this album. It's like
Oh yeah,
very, it's like a mixture of psychedelia and Afrocentric and shit like that. Definitely something very unique. Um, yeah, man. This album has about 11. Oh, they do have a few guest appearances, and those are Mick Jagger. He actually does some harmonica and backing vocals. Public Enemy, who are like Chuck D and Flavor Flav, they're on this track and shit like that. The Fowler Family and Dennis Diamond. Give me one quick second. Let me get some water. Alright. Alright, 11 tracks. Let's get this shit started. Track number 1, Cult of Personality. Yeah, this is like one of the songs that they all, one of the two songs off this album that they all wrote together and shit like that. Very, very, very dope song. It's a classic song to this day. You know, basically it's very like a political song and shit like that. I just love that fucking riff. That riff is so dope and shit. What's interesting about the song was the fact that, you know, they pretty much begun the song and ended the song with speeches and shit. Because, you know, they had like a Malcolm X speech in the beginning and a John F. Kennedy speech at the end. And originally they were supposed to have, they wanted to use the free at last portion of the Martin Luther King speech of I Have a Dream to open the song, but they didn't have like the whole rights to clear it, so that's when they settled on the Malcolm X speech. And also around this time too, when this video was playing on MTV, it was simultaneously playing with like Michael Jackson videos. And according to the book I Want My MTV, Epic Records pretty much wanted both Michael Jackson's Smooth Criminal video playing with that and Call of Personality. And if they didn't play either or, they were going to take both videos off rotation and shit. So I just found that pretty interesting and shit, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, very dope track, Call of Personality.
I love that shit. Like, yo, Punk, actually, he really put that song back on the map. Like, when people forgot about it, and like soon as as soon as that music hit and he come out and everybody go crazy, and you know that shit. Love that shit.
For real.
You know, when Corey singing, what he said like, I exploit you, you still love me. Love that. And that's a classic song. That's like one of the best rock songs for me, man. And I'm not like a Tom McCloud rock or heavy metal, fan, but like that's just like a track. Like the Great Football Plan by Brandon. And I love the videos. They were like, I don't know, I don't want to. I think they were like I would compare them to like Rage Against the Machine. So they stood up for like social and political views and stuff. And definitely I definitely that's the type of like rap music that I like. The rebellious shit. So
Facts.
definitely something.
Yeah, man, that fucking rebellious sound, not this pussyfied rock that's going on right now and shit.
It's not the same like it used to be.
It's really not, you know, because everyone's not authentic as they once was and shit, you know.
Right, it's almost like a lot of the what they call, to me, the only feel like outside of the heavy metal stuff and the death metal, like the only feel like rock band is, to me, is like Green Day. That's still doing it like right now, like they're still punk rock.
Who?
Because a lot of the other groups like Green Day,
Oh,
because like a lot of the other groups like 21 Pilots and Walk the Moon, and like a lot of these groups are not rock, like they're fusion. Like 21 Pilots have like hip hop, a lot of hip hop in their music. They're like more of a fusion group, and a lot of these other groups are like, I'm saying. So it's like when the last time we heard from Fall Out Boy and groups like that, but you know, I feel like it's like the groups now don't compare to how they used to.
exactly. Like everyone is just Um, So yeah, that was called a personality. Track number two is I Wanna Know. Um, I got it. It sounds like it was like a love song, kind of, sorta, but yeah, it was a pretty straightforward track and shit like that. Vernon definitely did his thing with the vocals and stuff. Yeah, not only a bad things to say about this one.
I like it. Definitely has like a love vibe to it. You know, nice guitar playing, nice drums, hard drums on it. You know, Corey singing on "Baby, You Stole My Heart." I don't know what to do. Got problems on my mind. Do you feel the way I do? And I thought it was a solid track. You know, definitely a banger. One of my favorites on this album as well.
Yeah, definitely, man, definitely. Track number three, Middleman. Love this track right here. Pretty much this was actually inspired by a suicide note that Corey had written, but it's not really like a somber song because it's pretty much like a funk rock kind of vibe to it and shit like that. Um, pretty dope track. I like it. Definitely one of the more funkier tracks off this album and stuff like that. Yeah, very dope track.
What track we on? Middleman.
Yeah.
Okay. I think the track listing was different on the YouTube version.
Oh
Okay.
shit.
Yeah, Middleman was dope. Has a nice beat, you know, groovy bass line, nice guitar playing. Corey said, singing, "I've got the master plan. I'm just a simple middleman." And I didn't know it was about like all that stuff going on with him, but I think it was a cool track. I definitely enjoyed it.
Yeah, I enjoyed this one too and shit like that. When it comes to lyrics, I also like the line when he says, "Give me the happy medium. I don't want to be the one who's leading them" and shit like that. Yeah, that's a very real ass line and shit because it kind of reminds me of people who don't tell people about the other all their problems and stuff like that, but at the same time, it's like everyone leads into them, and because people they always get overwhelmed when they think they have the answer to everything and shit like that. So yeah, man, very cool track. Next track we got is Desperate People. Um, yeah, this was another one of the songs where they all wrote to and shit like that. Not a bad track, but eh, not really one of my favorites too. To keep it a buck and shit like that. So
I think it was a dope song. You know, great guitar solo by Vernon, and you know, it has a nice beat, and then like the song goes into like a different like key early on when it's starting off, a different type of melody, and I like this the lines where he says, "I see you crying in the sunshine, I'm really laughing in the rain. You say you can't tell any difference, but see the pleasure in the pain." I thought that was like some deep lyrics and definitely another favorite of mine on this album.
true. I definitely feel you on that. Definitely and shit. Um, that was Desperate People. Now we're into Open Letter to a Landlord. Yeah, this is actually one of my favorite tracks off this album, and pretty much it's a song where it's talking about like gentrification and stuff like that, which it's a very hot button topic today because of the fact that like you have like a lot of neighborhoods like in the inner city, whereas like people who lived in these houses for decades and decades being forced out just for people to make places for like the big businesses and whatnot, or just to make another storage unit. And so those people will end up being homeless and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's pretty much what I got from Open Letter to a Landlord. Um, one line that I do like is the line where he says, um, pull it up. Last month there was a fire. I saw several children die. You sent flowers to their family, but your sympathies are a lie. Because every building that you burn is more blood money that you earn. We are forced to relocate from the pain that you create and shit like that. And the bass, like this is one of the songs where all the instrumentation was just on point and stuff like that. But to me, I just love that bass line from Muzz and stuff like that. So yeah, very dope track right here.
That was dope. Definitely. It starts off like real somber, and then the beat comes in, and real dope beat, and a groovy bass line, and the drums, the guitar. Um, you singing. I call this my home. We call this place a slum. This uh, this house may look all run down, but they have a value. And it sounded like he was just talking about like his hood and how like people on the outside of the hood they look at it like slums or the ghetto,
Right.
but but that's actually like somebody's home. So to you it might look like a slum or a ghetto, but to a person out that people that's living there, it's like that's their home. That's like their comfort zone. So it's like outside of looking in, you're not really gonna get it unless you actually live there. So
Right.
I thought it was a dope song, and I like the video for it, and definitely another one of my favorites on here.
Yeah, I definitely have to agree with you on that shit. You know what I'm saying? Because there's like a lot of gentrification going on even where I live at. Where I see like
Right.
plenty of motherfuckers just being homeless and shit like that. And then you have like all these nice. Then if they make a fucking apartment, they're raising rent high. Like they're renaming raising rent all high and shit like that. So
Right.
it's crazy
I
though.
but I think I think people feel like because it's these neighborhoods, especially in New York, I think people feel like because these neighborhoods are gentrified, like like we're living in like Disneyland. Like don't get it twisted. Like people still get shot and stabbed even in the gentrified neighborhoods. So it's not like
Exactly.
white people came in and everything is all hunky dory now. Like you know what I'm saying? So
Mm-hmm.
like to me, I feel like um a neighborhood with mixed with different races all living together. I think that's better.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like you have like white, brown, Asian, black neighbors all living together. That's the way the world should be. Should be unified like that. So to me, I think it makes the neighborhoods better when it is mixed like that. When you have different races and kids of different cultures growing up together. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I don't people shouldn't get it confused like, oh well, white people make these neighborhoods gentrified and everything's honky dory. You still there's still violence everywhere. So it doesn't matter whether they were here or not now. I mean there's still gonna be violence.
Exactly and shit like that. Cause like even like in certain areas and stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? Like there's like a lot of violence in those areas and shit like that too and stuff like that. Like even motherfuckers like I just read a story about how this one motherfucker tried to commit arson and shit like that and his parents are inside and shit like that. But it is what it is, you know.
And it's like um I noticed like with you know the minute that the white people move into these neighborhoods, the neighborhoods start to change. So they start fixing up the neighborhoods. You start getting there was no yoga centers in my neighborhood until white people started moving here.
Yoga
We have
centers.
yoga centers, Dunkin' Donuts, and T-Mobile, so all kind of different stores that they start building once the majority starts moving into the hood. Because 10, 15 years ago, those stores wasn't here. You know what I'm saying? So and
Mm-hmm.
we have cafes now and stuff. So it makes the neighborhood better, but it's a shame that we have to wait till the white man moves into our neighborhood so that it can become better. And that's what I don't like. But I never had a problem with or any race moving into a neighborhood because I think it should be like that anyway. But I know a lot of people don't like that.
Right. But yeah, man. And I saw this one post earlier on Facebook that says it's funny how black people can get together just to buy alcohol, but they can't get together to start a business and shit.
Right. You know what I'm saying? Like I mean black people don't know shit about no yoga. We don't do yoga. You know what I'm saying? Like that's clearly for the majority race that's moving to these neighborhoods for them to go to at 9 a.m. on a Saturday morning. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Or sit down and for lunch and have some a cup of soup and coffee at the cafe. But we never done that before. So now when you see this stuff in the neighborhood, it's like, wow, is this the same neighborhood I grew up in? Like it's different. You know what I'm saying? But I think it's better for the neighborhood.
Facts, facts. Definitely. Alright, next song. Funny Vibe featuring Chuck D and Flavor Flav. Yeah, another strong track from this album. Pretty much they're talking about like racial profiling, pretty much, and just how people always stereotype black men and whatnot and shit like that. And Flavor Flav and Chuck D, they're not rapping, they're just adding like commentary like towards the end of the song and shit. So yeah,
Yeah, this is dope. Nice fast beat. It has like a it's like a funky hip hop fusion type of groove to it.
right,
Yeah, I like the nice guitar solo and Corey singing, "No, I'm not gonna rob you. No, I'm not gonna beat you. So why you want to give me that funky vibe?" And I've experienced racial profiling many times, especially by cops. When I was 14, 15, just for being black. And and like I'm sure like if you're black, you're gonna get racial profile at some point in your life. That's just how it is.
exactly.
So if your parents never told you, then that's a damn shame because you're gonna experience that at some point. It's any black man in America is gonna experience that. I don't care what age you are. You could be 8 years old, 18, 80. You're gonna experience that at some point in my life. So in your life. So it's just a shame, you know what I'm saying? And it's a shame that we still have that prevalent in today's society, especially with after having our first black president, and having so many, integrated marriages and relationships and kids being born with different races, different parents of different races and colors. It's just a shame that still goes on in today's society, but that is what it is, and nobody prepared me for that when I was younger. So it's just something that I've realized over time that this is what they're gonna do. Like white people are gonna look at you some type of way. You know what I'm saying? So, and I never grew up racist. I always was grew up to embrace every culture, every creed, every religion, every color. I grew up listening to white music. I mean, I don't want to say white music, but white artists. And that's just what it is. It's just a shame, but I mean, this is what they do. So just we gotta get used to that shit.
Right.
But yeah, they're definitely a powerful track, and I love the message of what Corey was talking. And, like even like when you go to like the department store, you go to any department store, Macy's or Bloomingdale's, any department store, and they would as soon as you come in, the
Can I?
security guard will be like right there with on his walkie-talkie, like, or they follow you around the store. That's happened to me more than once.
Same.
Going in there, and I had money on me to go in there to shop, and they follow you from every floor just to see what you're gonna do, to see what you're gonna buy, or they'll have like one of their employees that work there come over and ask you, "Oh, do you need help with anything?" No, I don't need help with nothing. I know what I'm getting. You know what I'm saying? I came to Foot Locker for these specific sneakers. I don't need your help on trying to get me something out that I already know what I want. You know what I mean? So
You got
they
followed
they
at
do
Foot
it
Locker?
subtly sometimes, but you have to catch it because they know what they're doing.
Of course. And then they try to act all innocent and shit like that. Oh, we just trying to do our job and shit like that.
So that's just what it is.
Shit. But yeah, man. Funny Vibe, definitely a very cool song and shit like that. Um, Track number 7, Memories Can Wait. This was a Talking Heads cover from their 1979 album Fear of Music. Yeah, very dope cover and shit like that. Um, yeah, man, very dope cover. Not really that much I can say about it. I mean, I love Talking Heads and shit. So yeah, very cool.
I like this song. Very nice beat. You know, very funky guitars. That when Corey's singing, there's a party in my mind. I hope that it never stops. And then it's like there's like a breakdown midway up in the song, and then like it picks up again, and then it slows down again. And I like that, like the vibe of the whole song, and how they broke it down, and then it picks back up. Definitely a
Oh, Yeah, man, I definitely know what you're talking about. That breakdown and shit like that. That was like probably the best part of the cover and shit. Um, Next track we got is Broken Hearts. Yeah, definitely vocally one of the cool best songs off this album. Vernon definitely did his thing on that song vocally and shit like that. Um, yeah, definitely a very interesting track. I want to say this song is definitely talking about just like how, of course, he's talking about heartbreak and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? But there's something about this song that it's just something very different, especially when he hits the chorus when he says, "I hear they say that broken hearts were men, but when they do, they're never good as new. I wish right now that I could change it back. I know you don't believe I care about you. I never meant to do those things I did to hurt you." And it's just like him giving out the remorse and shit like that. Him doing one to disrupt the relationship and shit like that. So yeah, Broken Hearts, very dope track right here.
I like it. Definitely a nice beat, real melodic track, nice guitars on here. Um, Vernon, not Vernon, Corey saying, it breeze reminds me of the changing time and place. A tear that takes forever rolls down your timeless face. And I mean, it has like to me, it has like a vibe where I think like a Bon Jovi or Guns N' Roses would have did. Like it has that type of vibe. Like
Right.
I could definitely hear this song. And yeah, I like it has like a country rock type of feel to it, like a rock ballad, but it has like a little bit of country in it as well.
Hmm.
But I like it. I think it's this soundtrack on it.
Yeah, and just to let you know, Mick Jagger, he actually plays harmonica on this track too. So yeah,
The legend, the legend.
facts. Track number 9, Glamour Boys. This is like one of the two tracks that Mick Jagger also produced on this album. Yeah, very dope track. I love that beat. I definitely love that beat to this track. When he's talking about glamour boys, he's talking about privileged white kids like living in like New York City and shit like that. And they were always, them privileged white kids. They were always wear the most expensive clothes. They're using money to get through life and shit like that. So he's just talking about those that crowd right there. So yeah, man, very cool track. Definitely love the beat. It definitely sounds like something I would have definitely heard from Jane's Addiction's Nothing Shocking album. Which
Right.
I need to get my hands on that album and shit like that. That Jane's Addiction album is dope as fuck.
Yeah, definitely a nice beat, real upbeat track. It has like an island vibe to me, like the melody.
Mm-hmm.
It has like a Caribbean vibe. You know, nice guitars. Definitely. I think I heard this before. I heard Cult of Personality. I know this was like a big hit for them as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, a nice track. And the video, it has like well, the video, you can tell the video is like 80s. That's an 80s video right there. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Yeah, man. I definitely love like the videos and shit like that off this album. Like, just has that freeness with it and shit like that. And like the late '80s when it comes to their videos, it just always everyone having like a good time. Just the directing of it all and shit like that. Yeah, man.
It was like they were wearing like the loudest shit, like the type of like different prints on their clothes are like just crazy. Like they were just having a good time. They wasn't worried about nothing. It was just all about the music.
Exactly. Definitely. Shit. Then we're gonna get into the next track. What's your favorite color theme song? Yeah, this one was pretty dope track too. Very funky track. I want to say, I want to say, it's just like talking about, races and shit like that. But the way they try to do it is, what's your favorite color? And they talking about, the red, red, gold, green, black, and shit like that. So yeah, and just a little trivia. Speaking of theme song and shit, the show In Living Color originally It was supposed to be spelled as Colour, but I want to say that the
Right.
band and the label, I think they ordered them to change the name to avoid you know confusion with the two things like that. So that's how they changed it in Living Color, the traditional way of spelling it. So just a little trivia thrown out.
Yeah, I like the song. I mean, like I had we was talking before we started, like the on the OG copy, like this track is long, it's like 3 minutes longer, but on the re-release is shorter. But I like the song, but it like the beat it reminded me of like something the Time would have did. I think I could hear Morris Day on this track.
Yes,
You know, like it's real funky. It has like that type of like vibe to it, like around like their first and second album. But I like it. I thought it was cool. It's not really well, I never heard like the long version. Maybe on the long version is like more lyrics. There wasn't really a lot on like the short version. But I think it was a cool song. Like that's like their theme song for the band.
exactly. And speaking of Maurice Day and shit like that, even I was gonna say on Funny Vibe, it definitely had a Minneapolis sound feel to it and shit like that, especially when them synthesizers hits and stuff.
Yeah,
So definitely something I just caught up on and shit.
yeah.
And the last track off this album, Which Way to America, um, yeah, pretty much self-explanatory and shit like that. This was again another song that was produced by Mick Jagger and Ed Stone and shit like that. Yeah, pretty political track. Just the political track. You know what I'm saying? How he's talking about how you look in the news and he's seeing everyone's in a state of chaos, and he just goes and see like your America's doing fine and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? And that's like I said, another relevant song of today. How people like another relevant song. So with Donald Trump and shit like that. With this whole "Make America Great Again" and shit like that. But yeah, that's which way to America.
Yeah, it had a nice beat, a fast track. You know, nice guitar solo by Vernon Reid, and that a great way to end the album. And that you know that song is timeless. You know, definitely relevant to what we're going through now in this country, and definitely a banger. And also on the re-release, the bonus track they did a cover because Should I Stay or Should I Go? And they have like the Funny Vibe remix with Daddy O from Seth Thompson.
Which I definitely need to peep that shit though. Shoot. And yeah, that's that's all of the songs off this album. Overall, very, 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 very dope album. To me, this album is a classic album and shit. It definitely has a very strong summertime feel to it, but at the same time, it has its political sides as well too. The instrumentation was very unique and shit like that. I never hear this group gets mentioned when it comes to like heavy metal, especially like the late '80s and early '90s and shit. And it's a damn shame if you ask me, because I definitely feel like this group definitely laid an impact around that time too. Because people always want to say "Cult of Personality." That's like their signature song, but check out like "Funny Vibe," "Broken Hearts," "Glam Boys," and so on and so on. Because the band has more to it than "Cult of Personality" and shit. If you ask me again. Um, yeah, very, very, very good album. This album should still be in print, so yeah.
Yeah, the re-release is still available. The OG copy I think is out of print, but the re-release with like the bonus tracks, and then it got like some live performances of Cult of Personality, and there's another song they did live. That's on the reissue. I mean reissue. That's available still. But I think it's a classic album. You know, I love a lot of this on Broken Hearts, like you said, Glamour Boys, Cult of Personality. You know, open letter to the landlord. Definitely some great tracks, and great singing by Corey, and great guitar playing by Vernon Reid, and like Corey, to me his voice at times like Lenny Kravitz as well.
Did you get
Right.
that?
Yeah, I definitely got that.
Yeah, like he reminds me of Lenny Kravitz, the way that he sings on certain notes. But I definitely think it's a classic album, man. Definitely would recommend anybody that's into like the I don't know what how would you like categorize them? Are they like alternative rock or
Yeah, alternative metal.
metal? Yeah, I fuck with them. I definitely think that they're a dope group, and yeah, like they don't get a lot of recognition. I never hear nobody like discussing them.
Exactly, and shit like that. Because like and you gotta imagine they were like a black heavy metal group and shit like that. So yeah, and they were playing heavily on MTV too for the time. Cause you know how
Yep.
MTV always does their black artists and shit.
Oh yeah, played them a lot. I remember seeing all the videos.
For real. Yeah, definitely a dope review. Definitely very dope review. Shoot. So this Thursday, man, just Sticky Fingers album,
Yeah,
long awaited. I'm gonna
okay.
I'm gonna listen to the album tomorrow and shit like that. I'm gonna take my notes on it tomorrow.
That's an album I never hear nobody discuss. So
Exactly. That's like a lost hip hop classic right there.
yeah,
Like, you
You
know,
know?
I mean, I love Honest's first three albums and shit, but to me, that that solo album, I'm sorry, but I like that more than Shut 'Em Down. On some real shit.
Oh wow.
Mm-hmm. And I have nothing against Shut 'Em Down.
that's new. That's new.
Yeah, I have nothing against Shut 'Em Down and shit like that. But at the same time, it's just that fucking autobiography. That's just like a fucking chilling album, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Mm.
And a
A
dope
dope
concept
concept
album
album
too,
too,
like
like
just
just
the
the
way
way
that
that
he
he
did
did
it,
it,
you
you
know.
know?
Facts.
Did you hear about the beat battle? I mean, supposedly, Alicia Keys wants in on this beat battle. You know that Swiss Beat started or whatever, and there's
Oh
talks about
lord.
her going up against John Legend. But people are saying that well, if she go up against John Legend, then the fans are gonna make her win because she's a lady or whatever. Then they're saying like a better matchup for her would be like Alicia Keys against Jill Scott. You
Hmm.
know, I don't know. Uh, I'm more of an Alicia Keys. John Legend is a great singer. I'm not really like big on all of his albums except for like a couple of them, but I'm more of an Alicia Keys fan.
Same.
I don't think bad album at all. I think a lot of her albums uh they went like I would say like after Element of Freedom, I think she got ignored because of the music was changing. There was a lot of other artists that people were paying more attention to, but I definitely think she's a great artist. You know, I don't think she has a bad album. You know, it's not discography.
Yeah, man. I'm more of an Alicia Keys fan myself and stuff like that, but I just feel like everyone's getting on this whole battle shit now and stuff like that. It's kind of crazy.
Let's see the real battles. Like give me Pharrell and Timberland, give me Pete and Timo. You know, give me Alchemist and Derringer. Cause I want to see the real battles. Teddy and Babyface that got postponed and never said why. I think it's because Babyface can't fuck with Teddy when it comes to the Loose Jack and Swing State. You know,
They didn't have the battle.
Nah, it was postponed. They don't have another they haven't rescheduled, but supposedly it was postponed. It was supposed to be Sunday at 6 p.m. but it got postponed. I don't know why, but I'm like it's like New Jack Swing against basically most of Babyface stuff is gonna be ballads. I don't know too many fast songs that he did. You know what I'm saying? It's like Babyface is gonna pull out the Tony Braxton stuff, and he's gonna pull out the stuff he did on Waiting Tank Sale, and you know the shit for After Seven, and then he's gonna go up against joints like Rump Shaker and No Diggity
Yeah.
and Prerogative. Like I think Teddy's gonna wax his ass.
Hold up. Didn't Babyface also do Roni for Bobby Brown too?
Did he do Tenderoni? I can't remember. I remember I remember the stuff he did for the Bobby album, but I can't remember if he did Roni or Rock with Chance. I gotta go back and see. But he basically, but those were like the ballads. So he's basically gonna do like all his ballad trademark shit against a whole genre. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I don't know that's even a good matchup for Teddy. And then it was like talks about Jermaine Dupri going up against the Trackmasters. I'm like, oh
Oh
wow,
God.
that's gonna be interesting. Cause you're going up, it's one guy against like a whole production team. Cause like Trackmasters was like it was Tone and Polk, and then there was like a time when they had Kid Capri a part of them. They had Karan Goodman from the Youngsters a part of them. They had it was another dude that was down with them too. So it's like, well, I mean, basically it's Tone and Polk, but it's not two against one. So I'm like, wow, that's gonna be interesting if that happens.
And Trackmasters, they have a very unique sound compared to the pre anyway. So yeah.
Right. And that's what I was saying. I was like, well, we see like even with Jermaine, his strong point is the ballads he's done. You know what I'm saying? But he has the hip hop shit. But like Trackmasters, they were mostly hip hop and R&B. But they did like fast. They did. I don't really like ballads that they did.
Yeah, I want to say, damn, they did do a couple ballads. I can't think on top of my head though and shit, but
And the thing is, the the um the only like ballad I know that they did was on that terrible Black album that we discussed last year. That shit was bad.
mm,
You know what I mean? So, but that would be interesting to see Jermaine Dupri against the Trackmasters.
shit. The real match gotta be Primo versus Pete Rock. That's the real match.
That's what I want to see. Give me Tim Warner for real. I wanted to see that shit. You know,
Niggas playing.
give me Dr. Dre against RZA.
Ooh,
You know what I mean? Shit like that. Yeah, Alchemist and Damage, like I said. That Damage to me is similar to Alchemist. So give me Muggs and Alchemist.
give me
They both got
Buck Wilder and Easy Mo B.
yeah, give me that. The boom bap battle and shit.
Shit.
You know, that would be Beat Miners against DITC.
Oh, yeah. That gotta happen.
Yeah, man. I want to see it. Like Scott Storch and Manny Fresh was cool. That was a cool battle. I didn't see the T Pain and Little John one, but I want to see like the real battles.
Exactly. Everyone's just playing around and shit like that, postponing shit.
Yeah. Let's get some women involved. Let me see MC Light and Roxanne Shante again. No, they never settled that beef. I want to see that.
Shit, you know Roxanne Shante ain't about to be in no Instagram battle and shit. Damn. Stay tuned Thursday.
Definitely, man. We been talking about that since last year.
Facts.
You know, the Prodigy joint, HNIC, that one as well. We've been talking about that one.
Yeah, man. Once I get that HNIC, man, I'm gonna definitely review that shit right away, low key. Like I said, this money was kind of like a little tight lately, so. Yeah. But yeah, your shit is definitely coming this week.
Okay, cool.
Mhm.
Appreciate it.
No problem.
I'm gonna do like when that comes in the mail, I'm gonna do like another CD walk. I got like so many I ain't really show yet. So
Yeah, man. I definitely there's a couple of CDs I gotta get later on this month too, but I gotta fix my whole tires and shit because that's my main priority.
that chick is crazy, yo. She gotta you gotta do something about her. She needs to be arrested or something, man.
Shit, man. But yeah, they'll let me know if it's really her and shit. But like I said, I have a strong feeling it's her.
Who's going around and slashing tires during the pandemic?
Right. Shit,
That's
man.
crazy. Was it all in or just one?
It was just one.
Oh wow.
You can tell she was a fucking amateur. You can tell she was an amateur and shit.
Oh, crazy.
But yeah, man. Shit, maybe there's some cheaper tires than Amazon and shit. You know, Amazon got everything at this point.
Right.
But yeah, I'm also doing Jasmine Taz this Friday too.
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah, that's right. What time is that?
I want to say 9, but if I'm pretty much if I get done with what I have to get done by Thursday, I might do a little earlier. Cause once I get my tires fixed that morning and shit like that, and I know I have to have my sister unload and shit like, cause she's moving to Durham and stuff like that. So I think I put 9 or 8 or 9 for now and shit like that. But hopefully I'll be back before the stupid ass curfew. But I don't give a fuck about this curfew, dead ass. But yeah, before I sign out, I still never heard that Firestar album. Never heard that shit.
I had this the sampler for that. That was horrible.
Yeah, I actually might do a first reaction to that shit on some real shit. After the Joel Ortiz.
That was bad. I don't even remember no song on it.
Shit. Federal Star. Shit.
I don't remember no song. I had to sample it in the got the sample in the mail from the record label, and I don't know, I was promoting for something, and then they sent me the sample, but I heard like a couple songs like yo, I threw that shit away. I didn't like it at all.
It was that bad?
It was that bad. And I love Federal. I love Onyx. I love them from the first album, but their solo stuff. I mean, well, as Federal, I didn't pay attention after Firestar came out. I didn't pay. I know he had changed his name to Firestar when he was doing the solo stuff, but only Sticky Fingers. The one Sticky Fingers album. Also that I enjoy. I haven't listened to nothing else after that, but their solo stuff wasn't great, individually. You know what I mean? So
Right.
yeah,
Shit. But yeah, listen, man. I'm actually about to call my mom before she goes to bed and shit like that. So I'll
right.
definitely hit you up with some shit later on tonight.
Um,
Alright. And yeah, thank y'all so much for watching this review. Like I said before, this is Living Color with the Vivid album, released in 1988. Must have in your collection for all my heavy metal heads and shit like that. And then this your boy Reg here. Please follow me on Instagram at MCRegMusic. Follow me on Twitter at RealReg1 and subscribe and like this video. Have a good night, y'all, and